Aveline, why do you have to stump me with this? It's a good question. The best way to get your mood to change once it goes off. You know, I'm going to say a couple of things, because it's me, and I'm prone to say a couple of things. I am Italian. That's not an excuse. It's just the truth. I had a very Italian family upbringing. Very passionate. Very engaged. Very religious. Very disciplined. Very loud. Did I already say loud? Very yelly. Very hand gestury. Very facial expression-y. Emotive? Can I use that word? So, I've never had a problem sharing my feelings. I don't care what everybody else thinks. I'm going to share my feelings. What I'm thinking, this is what I think. Blah. And I guess that's an Italian thing to do. Now, whether that's nature versus nurture, I don't know if I can peel back those layers. I believe it's nature more than nurture, but I can't rule out nature. I can't rule out nurture. I can't rule out my upbringing. I happen to believe that it's more nurture. Nature. God bless America. That's where I grew up, in America. But I have a full Italian heritage. I recently started and finished The Sopranos, right? And there were a lot of moments. I'm not in the mafia. No one in my family, to my knowledge, is into the mafia or anything like that. But the familial and friend relationships that I saw play out were eerily familiar. Eerily. Like, wow. Like, spooky. Like, whoa. I mean, just the language and the setup and the dynamics were incredibly familiar to me. The expressions, incredibly familiar to me. Not as exaggerated as that form of entertainment was, but I will tell you, even though I didn't even come close to growing up like anybody in The Sopranos, that Italianness was incredibly familiar to me. And trust me, Aveline, I am getting to your answer, but I need to set the stage. Because I'm someone who tends to lean in and tends to share and tends to just put it out there, and then once it's out there, I move on. I got it off my chest. You know, I thought, you know, I at some point that this was dysfunctional, right? Because the fighting and the yelling and the engaging, right? Well, no, it sounds dysfunctional. When in fact, it's more dysfunctional to not. It's more dysfunctional to bottle it up. It's more dysfunctional to not talk about it. It's more dysfunctional to hide and lie about that which you're feeling, which is completely unintuitive to me. I'm not into it. It's never going to happen. I can't. Could I learn to hide my feelings? Oh, trust me, I've gotten better with it because I wear my heart on my sleeve. And I put it out there and it's off my chest. I'm good. I've moved on. But in doing that, the problem is that my mind sometimes has a difficult time stopping. My mouth has a difficult time stopping too, but that's why I love doing video. Hello. But my mind keeps going. And it's hard to silence the mind, especially when I'm on a thought. And if I'm on a certain thought, I don't necessarily like to change topics. I may talk around the topic, but this is the topic. This is the thing I need to share. This is the thing I need to talk about. This is how I want to talk about it. This is how I want to present my thoughts, my feelings. And when I do that, you can even sense I'm sighing, right? I'm getting not agitated, but I'm getting worked up. And that's my mood. My mood goes from, okay, I'm good, and then suddenly an outside object hits me, and I'm like, okay, I'm going off. This is the direction I'm going now. I've been knocked by an outside object, and this is the thing I need to share right now. Let me share it. Let me say everything I need to say. Because I've been put in this position where I need to get this off my chest. So I was fine over here, and then suddenly my mood changed because I was sent on a different trajectory. But I need to get it out. I need to get it off my chest. I need to express myself. So that's one way of changing your mood. express yourself. Don't lock it up. Don't swallow it. Just express yourself. Now, in terms of expressing yourself, you may have to attenuate your passion, as I've learned, which isn't always easy to do, especially when you're really passionate about a subject, passionate about a topic, and you need to share, and things get loud and heated. You still need to express yourself. You still need to let it be known. You still need to get it off your chest. Because if you don't, your mood won't change. Because you've just swallowed it. You're back building resentment. And you're keeping it inside your head where it doesn't need to be, especially if it's a situation where you need to express yourself. So don't lock it up. Again, I'm not saying explode. You may very well need to, as I believe I just said, kind of put a damper on your passion a bit, or communicate a little more clearly so that you've expressed yourself successfully. That's one way of changing your mood. Get it out. So if it's to somebody else, it's getting it out. And maybe it's not to somebody else. Maybe you need to get out another way. Fine. Write. You can't write? Who cares? No one's going to read it. Write. You can't spell? Who cares? No one's going to read it. Write. Maybe not physically. Maybe you got a keyboard. Doesn't matter. Write. Document. Journal. Get it out. And then once it's done, tear it up. Delete it. Because now you've expressed yourself. Maybe not to someone else directly, but you've got it out. That catharsis is critical to changing your mood. Because if you do not process it, it'll never get processed. It's just going to be lingering there like a cloud. And you'll just punt it. I don't need to process it. No worries. It's not like it's going to come out sideways. It will. By the way, spoiler alert, it'll come out sideways. Because you didn't address it. And because you failed to address your mood, something else may set you off. Something else may change your trajectory. And then you're just going to, then you're really going to explode. And then someone's not going to understand. Who peed in your Cheerios, dude? Dude, why are you blaming me for something that I had? What the hell are you doing, dude? You didn't process it. That was your failure to not... I'm telling you. If you fail to process something, that's your fault. You are to blame. There's nobody else responsible for your mood. Process it. It's the bottom line. Process it with somebody else. Process it in the moment. Process it by writing it down away from anybody else. Or, another way to process it, take time out. I know this sounds unintuitive, especially people that are just like, duh. Walk away. Especially in moment number one, right? Where things are getting heated and you need to share it. You can share it later. You don't have to get into the last word. Walk away. And if the other person does not respect you, when you walk away, they don't understand how to resolve a situation that seems to be kind of heated. Right? Where a mood is elevated, and you need to resolve that. So you've got, there are many, I'm talking through like many circumstances here, right? You've got the where your mood changes because someone does something that you don't like. Your mood changes because something happens and you need to process it. And if you don't process it, then the chances are you're going to over process when someone else comes along. Or another moment where you know you don't have enough you have plenty of energy, but you don't have enough breathing room to provide enough context for what it is that you're thinking and feeling, and that's the moment you need to walk away. And when you walk away, you have a chance to reflect. You have a chance to reflect on your mood. And you need to. It comes back. I said it right that time. It comes back to processing. You have to process it. And so many times people don't process. They just swallow their emotions. They swallow their feelings. We all self-soothe. You know, we all have things that we turn to for comfort. Fine. I'm not saying you shouldn't go out and buy new Star Wars figures. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that you shouldn't enjoy a vegan ice cream cone. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying that's not a replacement for processing. That's not a replacement for thinking and understanding your role in your mood and understanding why you're in that mood. No one else is going to do it for you. Don't foist that responsibility onto anybody else. Nobody can change your mood but you. Nobody. Just like nobody out there can make you happy. You're either happy or you're not. So, how to change your mood, especially when it's a mood that you don't want to be in? Change your environment. Get it off your chest. Process it. Step away. These are all, I would say, working hypotheses. I'm only an expert in being myself. I'm not an expert in anything else. I'm just telling you, based upon experience, this is the way to do it. You need to change your mood. Change. Change something. Change how you're thinking. Change how you're processing. Change where you are. But it's still your responsibility. And it's not always easy. Because there's certain things that, doesn't matter how many times we think about it, we still feel a certain way. At that point, I would say push yourself to a point of catharsis. Talk to somebody else. Maybe an involved party, uninvolved party. Doesn't matter. Hey, no shame in therapy at all. Anybody who would shame you for any kind of therapy, there's something wrong with them, not with you. Because it's okay to ask for help. And if you don't want to talk to someone else, like I said, go back to writing. Right. Because trust me, you pour your heart out. Doesn't matter. Grammar, spelling, who cares? No one's going to see it. It's not going to be printed anywhere. Don't go to Twitter. Don't go to social media. Don't go to YouTube. Don't go to Twitch. Don't share those thoughts immediately, especially if you're in this heightened sense of like, I'm in a bad mood, I'm in a sad mood, right? You know, you need to take that time for yourself to process that stuff. Writing, that's my version of writing, right? You know, although I don't handwrite anything anymore, right? So typing, trust me, you're going to get 5 pages in, you're going to get to the point where you don't know what else to type, you're going to start to feel better. Mark my words. Mark my words. And if you don't feel better, keep writing. Because there's something that you need to process. But the last thing you want to do, if you're trying to change your mood, is just swallow it and punt it or blame somebody else. Now, you can hold them responsible for something that they might have done to impact your mood, but it's still something that you have to deal with. You have to deal with your mood. Who else is in your head? If you can't even describe it yourself, how do you expect anybody else to? And it may take time. It may not be immediate. But don't ignore it. Don't sit silent. Put it out there in one way, shape, or form to somebody else or to yourself. Not always easy. Not always fun.